Welcome to the Ada K Show. I'm your host, Ada K, and I am a criminal justice major. I am also a deaf courtroom commentator, breaking down the gripping courtroom drama while providing full ASL interpretation, making justice accessible to everyone. Grab a cup of Java and let's dive in. Don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe. And if you love this channel, please become a member. Good Wednesday evening. I hope this finds all of you well. It has been a long day. We have had a day of court, and that has been an interesting trial. But we are now going to be doing something that I call our Wednesday World. Excuse me, Wednesday World Watch, where we take cases that are from across the borders. And tonight we are diving into Australia. We're coming for you. Hi, Aunt Karen. Hi, how are you? And welcome. We have an interesting case tonight. We're going to get to it in just a minute. I'm going to get everything all lined up and ready to go. Get the comments up there. Hello, it's Brit. How are we doing? Oh my gosh, y'all, this is going to be fun. The case we are going to be talking about is Erin Patterson, the mushroom redrummer. Yes, she redrums people with her mushrooms. She did. Hello, Amy. Hello, Miss June. I don't know where Miss June is, but I know she's around somewhere. It is 5 o'clock time, her time, so she's probably getting dinner ready. Hi, everybody. Well, are y'all ready for an interesting night? I'm going to go through all the information, and then we're going to watch a video. God help me, please let it be royalty free. I don't need to go back to jail, y'all. And if y'all don't know, I'm just getting out of jail. Yeah, somebody threw my butt in jail, and a lot of us, multiple of us got thrown in jail. YouTube jail sucks. But we're here, and I'm so glad. If you are interested in recommending a case for us, we'd love to have it. We'd love to have a case from across the pond, or from down south, or Mexico, or north as Canada, or anywhere in the world outside of the continental U.S. Now, the case can include somebody in the U.S., but it needs to be based outside of the U.S. All you have to do is go over to the QR code up there, scan that. That will take you to our Discord. And you can leave that information for me in Discord. We need recommendations. This is something that is new for us, and we are looking forward to doing this with you guys. I think this is going to be a nice thing that we're going to keep around for a while. Hello, everybody. Yep, make your dinner, keep making your earrings. You can listen. Linda. Monkey Butt is not doing well, so keep her in your prayers. I have a capuchin, and I don't know what's wrong. She doesn't want anybody around her. Hopefully she's not getting sick. I've been very lucky. She's eating, she's drinking. She's just in a bad mood, I hope. We'll find out. So when my son gets home from work tonight, we're going to get her out. We're going to love on her, and we're going to figure out what's going on. All right, I have a few of you in here. I'm just trying to give ourselves a little bit of time for people to hop in, but I'm not going to take too much longer. We're going to go ahead and dive in. So we're going to go over the case. I'm going to tell you about it, and then we're going to watch about a 20, 30-minute video that has all the imagery and everything involved. Yes. Now, let me see. I want to bring up pictures of the victims. Let me get it here. I will not be in the picture when I throw these people up. These are the victims, unfortunately. Unfortunately, these are the victims. Dawn Patterson and Gail Patterson are the mother and father-in-laws to Emily Patterson. She is divorced. Heather Wilkinson and Ian Wilkinson are uncle and aunt. Dawn, Gail, and Heather passed away where Ian, by the skin of his teeth, survived. And yes, the ex-husband survived, but it's crazy. So we're going to get into it. So let me get going. All right, the date of it happened was on July 29th of 2023 in Leongata, something like that, Victoria, Australia. We'll just say Victoria, Australia. How did she do it? Well, she invited her family over, these people over for a lunch, which she's never done before, and made a beef Wellington, allegedly containing, well, not allegedly anymore. She was found guilty. It contained mushrooms, and the kind of mushrooms were death cap mushrooms. The victim, Dawn and Gail Patterson, held Heather Wilkinson while deceased, and Ian survived, and that is by the skin of his teeth, y'all. She was arrested November 2nd of 2023. So this again happened on July 29th. She was arrested in November, and trial was April 29th through July 7th of 25. Guilty on all 3 counts of redrum and attempted redrum. She was sentenced to life in prison with a 33-year non-parole period. So Erin served... What was the mean of unaliving? Monkey butt's playing over there, so it's distracting me. Erin served individual portions of beef Wellington and claimed that the mushrooms were from a local grocer and Asian market. Later, she admits to foraging and using a dehydrator. And, well, let's talk about that for a second. We're going to dive into the mushroom facts a little bit in a little bit, but I want to say this, that the beef Wellingtons were served. There were 5 plates. 4 of the plates looked identical. 1 of the plates was different, and that was the plate in which Emily ate from. It was noticed by her guests. She later admits to foraging and then using a dehydrator to dispose, and she disposed of said dehydrator in what Americans call a dumpster, and just went to a dumpster and dumped it in a dumpster. It was caught on video. All 4 of the guests developed severe liver failure. Within 24 hours, an ICU doctor, Stephen Warrill, Warrilllow, and I got to tell you, Warrill, I can't do those doubles. They were the sickest patients in the state. Gail and Heather were too ill for a liver transplant. Dawn received the liver transplant, but died. Ian Wilkinson also survived after weeks in ICU, and he received a liver transplant. The only way to survive this mushroom apparently is by liver transplant, and that's a very iffy survival. So Erin told police in an interview, "I've never been in a situation like this before. I've given them all the food and the information." She claimed she never foraged for the mushrooms and later admitted that she had. In fact, she took multiple trips to forage for these deadly mushrooms. She stated that she loved her in-laws and wanted to maintain a relationship despite despite the separation from Simon. Yeah. Boy, y'all. Hold on, I'm going to look at comments for a minute. Same. Could the problem be with monkey butt be depression since your son went back to work again? I don't think so, because we used to go to his shop and be gone for 18 hours, 12 hours. She has a huge cage. It's like 6 by 7 by 4. It's a huge cage. And we leave plenty of food and water for her. So I don't think that's it. But I think what's happened is my son, I don't know. I think what it is we've moved all this stuff in the house, and we have a new cat in the house, and she's been not happy with that cat. She can get out and run around, but as soon as she senses or hears that cat, she's on high alert. So it's going to take her a little time, but she'll calm down. They'll find out if she perks up when he comes home. Yeah, we'll find out. That's a good test. I'll pay attention when he gets home tonight. Okay, so she lied about the dehydrator, but the closed circuit TV showed that they have a video of her actually dumping the dehydrator in the dumpster. She also claimed that she was sick after lunch, and she went to the hospital but refused to stay. Medical staff disputed the severity of her illness. The dehydrator disposal footage was in trial, but she claimed to struggle with binge eating and depression. She denied intent and harm. She said she ate the mushrooms herself and admitted to a naturalist searches for death cap mushrooms on her computer, but she said she didn't remember it. Under cross-examination, prosecutor Nanette Rogers, quote, "Are you making this up as you go along?" Erin disputed witness accounts, including Ian Wilkinson's claim that she used a different plate. However, the defense, Colin Mandy, argued that the mushroom foraging was seasonal and that Erin was in New Zealand during the key dates. Simon Patterson, estranged husband, described Erin as an intelligent but troubled woman. She had self-esteem issues, and their relationship was toxic. May we say as toxic as dead cat mushrooms? Unintended. Ian Wilkinson, who survived by the skin of his teeth, testified that Erin lied about having cancer during lunch. He described vomiting diarrhea all night with his wife, Heather. After sentencing, he said they brought to light the truth of what had happened. Come on. Sorry, I saw that. She wants to keep in contact via Ouija board. Interesting. So the community reaction, well, the residents mourned the loss of model citizens, of course. The ICU doctor praised the family's dignity and were very, very heartfelt and very sad that these people had passed. The jury did find Erin guilty on July 7th of 2025 and sentenced her to life with 33 years non-parole sentencing, which means September 8th of 2025 is when she started her sentence. Erin is now held in the Dom Villas Forest Centre. Erin is appealing. She has a legal team filing the appeals, citing a miscarriage of justice. She also said that the prosecution also is appealing. And that we don't usually see prosecution appealing in the U.S., but obviously they can there, calling the sentencing overly lenient. The mushroom foraging laws are under review at this time. So let's talk about the mushrooms itself. The details about the mushroom. So the death cap mushroom, and I'm going to try and pronounce it, Amanita phalloides, whatever, death cap mushroom. It's very toxic. It's got amatoxins, phytotoxins, virotoxins. Just half a mushroom can kill an adult. It produces severe vomiting, diarrhea, liver failure, and a coma, and eventually death. Toxins are not destroyed by cooking, and that's an important thing to know. The toxins do not diminish, become weaker, or get destroyed under heat, in cooking, freezing, or even drying. They are pale green with a brown cap with white gills. Resembles an edible varieties of mushrooms. It is native to Europe and invasive in Australia. It's often misidentified as by amateurs, grow near oaks and pine trees. Trial evidence confirmed that Erin used to dehydrate the death cap mushrooms in the beef Wellington served to her guests. The reason why she dehydrated them is because they are only in season. And she did make several trips into forest areas, which was documented by cell phone data, I'm sure. So right. And they were able to, she was able to take them, wash them, slice them, dehydrate them, and save them for when she could input them into the beef Wellington. The toxicology of these mushroom species and the forensic analysis linked the dehydrator to her home. That is where we are on that tidbit of information. Now, I'm going to go through a little bit of a timeline. Let me look at the comments and all that before I get into this timeline. I'm going to go into more details, and then we're going to look. I got to itch. My bangs are itching me. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So I just want to keep up with all of our stuff because it's a little different today. So I'm getting there. Give me a second. Come on. Okay, this is what I wanted to get to. I created kind of like her statements, Erin's statements versus the evidence. So on July 29th of 23, Erin hosted a lunch and claimed mushrooms were bought from a store. However, the contradiction and the evidence showed the toxicology confirmed it was the death cap mushrooms, and they were forestedly picked and not commercially bought. You can't commercially buy these. Then in August of 23, the initial police interview, she denied foraging for mushrooms. Later in trial, she admitted, and these flies are driving me crazy. Later admitted she lied about it, and she lied because she panicked. Instead of saying, "Yeah, I picked these mushrooms, and they look just like edible ones. I didn't know they were poisonous. I played dumb." If I was her, I would have played dumb. But she did not play dumb, which is interesting. I would have played dumb. Why is my camera not connecting? I have a security camera, and being that I'm home alone right now in live, I don't know why all of a sudden my security camera is not working. It's got plenty of battery. I just charged it. What did you just say? So anyway, that's weird. Then in August of 23, later, she claimed that she too was sick after the meal. Medical records show mild symptoms inconsistent with poisoning. So what happened was that she went to the hospital about the same time and claimed that she too was not feeling well, I think she went to figure out what's going on with everybody and who's close to dying. And when they told her, we think it's a white cap mushrooms, y'all ate mushrooms. We need to get you in here. We need to admit you. If you did ingest these, that you can be. And she signed herself out against medical advice and left. She came back twice. The first time she left, the second time, I believe she signed herself out. The hospital wouldn't let her go unless she released them from the responsibilities. Now, November 2nd of 23, she was arrested, maintaining innocence, and said that she that she was innocent and that this is just a tragic accident. Prosecutors presented a search for the naturalist. And in that search under naturalist, she searched for death cap mushrooms on her iPhone. May of 25, the trial and testimony began. She claimed that she ate a kilo of mushrooms the day before lunch. That's a freaking lot of mushrooms. No medical evidence of poisoning. No witness saw her eat them. In May of 25, she said, I didn't know death cap mushrooms were toxic. Had joined a true crime group discussing mushroom poisoning during COVID lockdowns. So she had been planning this for quite some time. This is not something that she just decided to do at the spur of the moment. This took quite a bit of planning. In June of 2025, she denied intent to harm under cross-examine, but the prosecution cited inherent history, online searches, and prior poisoning attempts on this estranged husband. Yes, she tried to poison her husband as well. Yep. Go figure. Now, I want to say, here's some more of the timeline. So she invited Erin and Gail and what was the other two people's name? The Wilkinsons, Heather and Ian, who were local pastors and pastor's wife. I'm sorry, I thought it was Uncle Pastor and pastor's wife. And she invited the ex-husband, who said it would be too uncomfortable and did not feel comfortable going. The meal was beef Wellington, and it contained the mushrooms. And she tried to persuade the ex-husband to come, saying that it was vital that he come. It was important. She had to talk to everyone together, and that she had been preparing for this meal. It is not an easy meal to make. And under her medical condition and circumstances, this will be the one and only shot she may have to do something nice for everybody. And this is when she wanted to talk to everybody about having cancer, which she did not have. All four of the guests fell violently ill with gastrointestinal symptoms. Now, Erin claims that she also felt unwell, but did not need hospitalization. So July 31st through August 4th, Gail, Dawn, and Heather were all hospitalized with the same problem, liver failure. Ian Wilkinson is placed in an ICU in critical condition. Toxicology did confirm the ingestion of the death cap mushrooms. Now, in August of 2023, early August, Erin tells the police that the mushrooms were a mix of store-bought from an Asian market. They're not going to have black caps in an Asian market. No. August 6th, the CCTV footage shows that Erin was disposing or trashing or throwing away, however you want to put it, a dehydrator in a local tip, as they call them. We call them dumpsters. They call them tips. Tips are money that we give waiter or waitresses for extra service in America. August 7th through August 10th. Gail and Heather dies in the hospital. They succumb to their poisoning and they do not survive. Dawn dies shortly after receiving a liver transplant. Now, Erin issues a written statement on August 11th. I'm devastated. I didn't do anything and I love them. claims that she was hospitalized with the stomach pains and diarrhea. She was never hospitalized. In fact, they tried to get her to stay and she refused to stay. In September through October, the evidence started mounting. In September of 23, the police obtained Erin's phone records, and that is when they discovered death cap mushrooms searched in the Naturalist app and the foraging locations where she could go to find them and what time of the year. October 23, police interviewed Simon Patterson, the estranged husband. He revealed Erin had previously claimed to have cancer and faked medical emergencies. He did not attend the lunch. Thank God. That's the only reason he's still alive and unharmed. In November 2nd of 23, Erin Patterson's arrested and charged with 3 counts of red room for Dawn, Gail, and Heather, 5 counts of attempted red room, including prior alleged attempts on Simon. Apparently, she was attempting to figure out the dosage and used him as well. So I wouldn't want to go over there and eat. If I've been over to her house a couple of times and I ate something and became ill, that's another reason not to go. November 3rd of 2023, Erin appears in court, does not apply for bail. She stayed in jail. November 6th, the police confirmed the mushrooms were the death cap and not commercially available in Australia. April through July of 25, of course, we had the trial that started on April 29th. The trial began in Melbourne Supreme Court. No footage. Only footage we have, and we'll try and watch it, is the sentencing. May 25th of 25, Erin testified, admits to lying about the foraging of the mushroom, but claims she ate a kilo of the mushrooms herself days before. She also did say she used a dehydrator to preserve the mushrooms. In June of 2025, under cross-examination, the prosecutor, Miss Rogers, confronts Erin with the inconsistencies. Ian Wilkinson, we've already talked about him, testified Erin used a different plate than the guest. Now, this was noted in all the documentaries I have watched. I've done a lot of research on this. Erin also denies intent and said that she was trying to reconcile with the family, and considering she had cancer, was really trying to rectify because she was afraid that this may take her life, and she wanted to end her life on good footing with the family, supposedly. The juries do find Erin Patterson guilty on all charges. And like I said, she is sentenced to life with 33 years non-parole period, so she must serve 33 years before she can be paroled. Her legal team did file an appeal on September 10th and the 15th. The prosecution also did an appeal. That is where we are, y'all. So I am going to share my screen. I am going to... Oh, Soxy, I'm sorry. My kitty is underneath on my footstool, and she clawed me. She reached out and touched me and startled me. It's okay, baby girl. I didn't know you were under there. It's really nice when you're sitting here and you're all focused, and then all of a sudden, you get this claw. It was like, it's like, ow. Hurt much? Let me get this. Why is, Oh, that's why. Would help if I'm big in the screen. There we go. Let me get me back up. Nope. Where do I want me? There we go. Okay. Why is that up? That's supposed to be up. Okay, we are going to watch this, and I will pause and break and talk throughout this. So grab yourself some popcorn and a cup of coffee, and let's go.
Before we begin tonight, we'd like to take a moment to remember Don and Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson. We'd also like to send our thoughts to Ian Wilkinson. We're thinking of everyone touched by this awful tragedy.
All right. Could you please state your full name and address for me?
Erin Trudy Patterson.
All right. Erin, I intend to interview you today in relation to the death of two people, being Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson. Before continuing, I must inform you that you do not have to say or do anything, but anything you say or do is being recorded and may be used in evidence in court.
Okay.
Do you understand that information?
Yeah.
Taken from the transcript. That's convicted triple murderer Erin Patterson being interviewed by a detective at Wonthaggi Police Station. Hello and welcome to this special edition of Spotlight. I'm Michael Usher. In a moment, more from the police interview room, plus the Australian man who unwittingly put death cap mushrooms on his spaghetti bolognese and survived. Just.
Last will and testament, farewell interview to my children. I was blacking out, that was it. Goner.
And a little later, the only other murder by mushroom investigation in the world.
There's a dead body laying in the ditch.
This can't be happening to me.
When we looked in his stomach, there was almost nothing except little chunks of what appeared to be mushrooms.
But first,
guilty of the murder of Don and Gail Patterson, guilty of the murder of Heather Wilkinson.
Okay, I got to skip through that. I can't have the music.
into the thoughts of the mushroom killer is as fascinating as it is horrific.
We're very used to men committing violent crimes because men commit about 90% of violent crimes. When a woman commits a violent crime, it's considered by, lay people to be especially aberrant.
Erin Patterson's psychological profile perhaps reveals the answer to the question we're all asking. Why did she choose to annihilate her adopted family?
Nowhere is that question more pointed than here in Leongatha, where this
I just got to thinking. I have watched this. I did Google to make sure that this was a free, copyright free. I can show this, but I'm a little scared. I don't want to get in jail again, Miss June. I need your input. I think what I want to do is I need to go. What's this part? I don't know what to do, June. I need some input by y'all because I'm terrified that I am going to get busted. I am so scared, and none of the local courts have it. I will show this. This is where she enters in. I'm just going to hotspot a few seconds at a time so I don't get in trouble. So what she does is that she goes and she
to the mouth, knowing she was murdering them is just so chilling.
Yes, and that was something I wanted to talk about. Can you imagine that not only did she go and forage for these mushrooms, she went and foraged for them. She cleaned them. She sliced and diced. She dehydrated them. She preserved them. Then she invested and bought and created and made a huge, Okay, I just got a fire scene call and it's nothing I can go deal with. Okay, everyone's fine. So what she did was she planned and orchestrated this over time. Then she sits down with these people. How diabolical can you get? And you sit down with these people and you have a meal, knowing dang well that every time they put a bite in their mouth, it's killing them. And you can sit there and you have no problem watching them devour a meal that you know is going to unalive them. Death cap mushrooms are so poisonous that, number one, and the effects don't hit you right away. I mean, it just like you think you just have a little kiss of food poisoning, right? And then it gets worse and worse and worse. What really gets you is when your liver shuts down, and then you need a liver transplant, and that may not even save you. By the time it gets to the liver point, you're in trouble. Okay, so what happens is she continues to eat this meal. They go home. She washes up. She cleans up like everything's fine and nothing happens. I agree with him. It's chilling.
It was clearly part of Erin Patterson's carefully planned crime that in the immediate aftermath of the lunch, she knew she had to pretend that she too had been poisoned to avoid suspicion. Caught on CCTV at a service station, Patterson told the jury she had to dispose of tissues after an emergency road stop because she had diarrhea.
The day after the lunch, we know that.
Okay, so the day after the lunch, she goes into this bathroom, and I mean, she literally says, you know, okay, so she's got some diarrhea, she's got dirty tissue, she needs to get to a bathroom. She goes into a gas station or petrol station, depending on where you are, and she goes into the bathroom. Watch how
walking into the bathroom, going in there for a mere 9 seconds, coming out.
I'm just going to do this. I'm going to comment. I'm going to take the sound off. A few seconds later, she comes out of the bathroom. What? There's no way on God's green earth. Then she goes and she purchases a lolly, as they call them, candy aisle, and grabs a snack and food for her, whatever. And then she says it's for the children. And then they leave. No. I'm going to go back here. I want to get to, that's about the victims. There's some interesting video. This is a video I want to get to. I'm going to share this video.
I never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you see anything in her?
There are no real tears in this section. Then she goes in the home. She speaks to him briefly. She's crying. She's boo-hooing and all of this, only to find that, you know, I loved him. I loved him.
That was another lie. The loving face was what Erin Patterson wanted her adopted family to see, when at some stage she decided they had to die.
And that is where it all starts. And the sad thing is that this is where they're going to talk about the death cap mushrooms. And I wanted to get to right here. She had to go to Loch and Outram to get the mushrooms. It wasn't like it was just driving down the road to a roadside park or to just a wooded area. In my area, she had to actually leave where this tower is right here and go to Outram and to Loch in order to find these mushrooms. And she found this information through the Naturals app on her phone. And that is very, very interesting in my humblest of opinions. So you can see that cell tower is pinging her in those places. This is the beef Wellington. If you didn't know, this is what a beef Wellington looks like, and it is what she made. So she did go and she went and pretended that she had the runs. She went to the gas station. Now, this is where I find, Doxy, stop it. She's kneading, and she's got nails. So we're going to come in here.
Focuses on Erin's eyes. Where did you get the mushrooms? And her answer, just as direct as my question, straight back at me, was Woolworths.
We've been told that on the 31st of July, so 2 days after the lunch, you went to the Leongatha Hospital, okay? And that you were only there for about 5 minutes and then you left. Can you explain why you went there for 5 minutes?
Yeah, because I just went there thinking I needed a couple of bags of saline because I was really dehydrated.
Okay.
And they said, we want to admit you and send you to Melbourne. And when you've got animals at home and children who have multiple after-school activities, you can't just be told to drop everything and you're off to Melbourne overnight. So I had to go home and feed the animals and pack my daughter's ballet bag.
I call BS here, Boo, because if you're that sick, you will go and do. But then here...
Despite warnings from Chris Webster and these attempts by Dr. Veronica Foote, caught on CCTV, to get Patterson to stay at the hospital, she leaves.
Hello, what address do you need the police?
This is Dr. Chris Webster calling from Leongatha Hospital, and I have a concern regarding a patient that presented here earlier but has left the building and is potentially exposed to a fatal toxin from mushroom poisoning.
Okay, what this doctor did, which any doctor in their right minds is going to do, whether you're in the United States or overseas, if you have somebody that you believe that is potentially in a position that they could pass away or extremely ill, or like this situation, toxins have been ingested and they leave, you're going to report it. It's covering their butts. He's covering his anatomy, CYA, not covering your ears, but covering your anatomy. That's what we call it in medicine.
And I've tried several times to get hold of her on her mobile phone.
So, what's her name?
So the last name is Patterson, P-A-T-T.
So he goes on to inform them, and he wants them basically to do a well check. Now, at some point, she brings the, when the relatives ate part of the meal, at some point, she allows them, she told them that she threw the rest of it in the rubbish, the trash. And this is the leftover Wellington.
Now began a desperate attempt by Health Department officer Sally Ann Atkinson to track the source of the death cap mushrooms.
Hi, Erin. Sally from the Department of Health here. I need to know what type of shallots you purchased and if you could give me basic description of the packaging of the mushrooms from the Asian grocer. That would be good.
Hi, Sally. Sure, I will try and get that information all to you as soon as possible. I'm just dealing with trying to manage and look after the kids in hospital here, and a bit snowed under trying to manage that. I'll get that info to you as soon as I can, but I've just been in a meeting with people in the hospital when you've been trying to call.
It was when I saw the text exchange that I became convinced that she had murdered them. Because if she'd been a decent person, she would have responded with utmost urgency to the health department who were trying to save other innocent people's lives. Instead, she fobbed them off with the most absurd.
Yeah, that was pretty absurd. That was pretty crazy. Now, here is the video. You're going to...
Tipped off. How this footage became vital evidence against Erin Patterson.
So it's kind of like she's picked the mushrooms and said, okay, well, these are going to rot before I get time to work out how I'm going to poison the family.
Plus, the other mushroom investigation.
Okay, we're not going to go into that, but this guy accidentally, he picked mushrooms. He didn't know they were deadly. He ate them. He survived, but it was horrible. So anyway, she threw the dehydrator away. They were able to follow that. So anyway, this is a crazy woman. And I'm going to pull up. Hopefully they don't monitor me. Oh, that popped up real quick. I'm going to bring up some images of death cap mushrooms, and here we go. You can tell. I like this because it shows the different stages in the growth of the death cap mushrooms. Let me share this screen. Here are the different sizes and the stages of the death cap mushrooms. Hold on a split. Sorry, my son's on the way home. So late fall is when the number of interesting Canadian fungi, and I want to talk to a friend of mine because he is a PhD and his thing is fungi. So I'm going to eventually get a hold of him. Hi, Resident Evil. I'm going to get a hold of him and I want to talk to him about death cap mushrooms because he would love for me to do that. And he's going to want to know why. And I want to tell him it's for a case. So as you can see here, this is the small mushroom and all the way to full bud. It does have a little greenish cap to it. It's white underneath. Doesn't have any brown or anything like that. Argot, brightly covered, but not all poisonous mushrooms are. These may be confused. See, these are all poisonous mushrooms. Oh, that looks poisonous. But trying to see. So anyway, so that's what the death cap mushrooms look like. There you go, y'all. And that's what she fed them. She dehydrated and fed them. You know, it's funny because I had a bunch of mushrooms and I just sauteed them. And I was thinking the other day when I was looking at this case, I was sauteing my mushrooms going, I will never look at mushrooms again without thinking about Erin. Thank you so much, Erin, for ruining my mushroom eating enjoyable experiences. It ain't going to be that enjoyable anymore. So anyway, this is an interesting trial that we have been blessed to be able to go through real quick. And I just cannot believe, and yes, this is her picking a mushroom. She took a picture of herself picking a mushroom. I'm like, seriously, dude? Really? That's insane. So what do you guys think about this case? Do you guys have any suggestions for the next case? Anything else that y'all want to talk about or share about, or, you know, any information, let me know. Cause, that's pretty much the whole, folks. That's all I've got on this. I just think if you look at it from a psychological point of view, I'd say she's one sick woman to be able to sit there and to research, go out and hunt for, go out and buy a dehydrator, prep them, dehydrate them, save them, and then create a beef Wellington, which is I can say extremely hard. For some people, it's near impossible, but it is not an easy meal to make. So why? I don't know why a beef Wellington, because that is very expensive. And that's something that she told her ex-husband on the phone call with him, that she said that she had with him, and she told him there's an email exchange where she says, I've gone to great expense and I may not be able to do this again. I'm not well. And this is my last hurrah, so to speak. And unfortunately for her, fortunately for him, he did not partake in the meal and he is alive. I feel bad because both of his parents are deceased. The pastor's wife is deceased. The pastor barely survives. He's got liver transplant, which means he's going to have medical problems for the rest of his life. I tend to agree with the prosecution. I think life with 33 years before she can get parole, to me, is not enough. But I think she's in her late 30s, early 40s, so she could potentially get out of prison in her elderly years. I think in America, that would have been a DP case. I think depending on what state you're in, that would have been a DP case. All right, guys, you guys have been fabulous. I've enjoyed this hour with you. I am so grateful that you joined me for the very first ever Wednesday World Watch trial across the continent. Please go to our Discord and drop us a line, email me, whatever is some trials that you may want to watch that's from across the ocean, across the border. And next week, I'm going to try and do it every week, but it may be every other week, depending on what trials we have. Tomorrow, we're in trial for the Julio Fulio trial. We will be watching that one, and then we'll be watching the, oh my gosh, what's the other trial? Oh, we got 2 trials we're watching, and I'm brain cramping at the moment. Let me pull it up real quick. My apologies. Okay, so we're going to be doing the Alicia Andrews with the Julio Fulio trial, the Daisy Link. We're going to be finishing up on the Daisy, no, not the Daisy Link, the Amber Alert trial. So we've got those 2 trials going on, the Julio and the Amber Alert trials. Both of those will be tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. See if who will stream with me, love. Resident Evil? I don't know. So, I always love collabs, just letting you know. I love collabs. So, please come and join us. We look forward to seeing you. Until then, sleep well and make sure your mushrooms are not poisonous. Don't go foraging for mushrooms. Buy them from a reputable source or store. If you want really good mushrooms, there are farms that grow good mushrooms, legal, healthy, food grade, edible mushrooms. Oh, thank you guys, everybody. Thank you. Y'all are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for trial. Till next Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.